serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Well, hey, folks, and welcome to episode 133 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of November 11th through the 17th, 2019. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we are opening the recipe box. It's funny how it sounds exactly the same opening and closing.
It does. It's very funny that way.
We are recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios in the lab at Industry Hill. First of all, happy Veterans Day. Remember, this isn't the holiday to honor those who have died in service. Of course, we honor them too, but this is anyone who has ever served in the military. It's Veterans Day. Veterans Day, all of them.
Every one of them.
It's also Armistice Day, and Armistice Day is commemorated every year on the 11th of November to mark the armistice signed between the Allies of World War I and Germany. So, they go hand in hand. So, yes. So, honor your veterans today. All right, well, here's the big elephant in the room, if you will. Popeye's Chicken opened on North Point Boulevard, and people lost their minds. Why? What could be so great about Popeye's chicken? Really? First of all, it's chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And what could ever be that good about chicken? I think it's some really great marketing. Yes. Mm-hmm. But I don't care about it. I mean, I don't eat fast food, so I'm not going to go there. But I just don't see. I mean, it's chicken.
A lot of us like chicken.
Well, no. I mean, I like chicken, but you usually don't get chicken. You get
I don't go
chicken.
nuts over chicken.
Yeah, I mean, chicken.
Chicken.
Chicken, you have to do a lot of stuff to make exciting. Chicken is generally not an exciting meat. That's not like steak, steak. This is chicken.
Chicken with a C.
I got this chicken here. I'm going to bok, gobble, gobble, and all that stuff. So I'm going to make some chicken.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. I just don't. You guys can have your traffic jams and your long lines and the stabbing of one another. I am not into that. I will go to Slappy's or Miss Aura's and be happy about it. Or J&J Food Mart. I hear theirs is really good.
For that matter, just run down to Walmart and get one of those rotisserie chickens and eat the whole thing. I mean, they're less than $4?
Yeah. Go to Carrabba's. Have chicken over there. It's good.
Now we're talking. Well, actually, the Slappies and Miss Aura's, we had me there too.
Yeah. All right. So, the biggest, weirdest secret of the last few weeks was what was going on at Burger Batch. I sent Tim Walker, the owner of Small Batch, a message asking him about what's going on. He saw the message, but never responded. And that's okay. I mean, he's been busy. I get it. I'm not questioning, why didn't he answer me? I asked Michael Hastings, and he had no clue either. He didn't even know anything was going on. Tim wasn't responding to him either. So I was at a party on Saturday, and someone who I knew from another place said that it is now a new ramen place. Now, Michael and I, when we talked about it a week or so ago, had pondered whether or not it was going to have poke like the one, the restaurant they have in High Point. And it obviously is not poke. But street team Steven hit me up and said it was called 237 Fifth or 237 Fifth, and is certainly ramen, small plates, and sake. I looked up on their Facebook page, not Facebook, but Instagram page, which has 4 entries plus the picture of their menu and their sake menu. Mm-hmm. There are currently 5 small plates on that menu, 4 different ramen dishes, and a sandwich made with Wagyu. And it has no price. It's just market price. And I hate that crap. Ooh. I hate when anything says market price because it can be really anything. Today it is $40 a pound, the market price, when it's really probably only about $7, or $8
Right.
a pound. So I don't know, but they do have a decent sake menu, and it looks like that will rotate monthly. So it said the November sake was whatever it was. Now here's the thing, one of the things I don't get: they are only open after 6 p.m. Thursday through Saturday,
3 days a week.
3 days a week. Now I don't know if that'll eventually change, but for right now, that's it. I'm pretty sure that the rent in this space, in the, right next to the old Copper Kitchen on 5th Street, is not cheap.
You're across the street from two of the biggest hotels in town. You're across the street from the Benton Convention Center, and you're only open 3 nights a week.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that, again, the rent isn't cheap. So wouldn't you want to be open as much as possible? I get playing the demand, even driving that demand by limiting hours. I don't know if that's the way to do it here, though. My question beyond that is, why the secret? I can understand not telling me, really, but not telling Michael Hastings either. I don't get it. They have those bamboo wooden blinds on the windows, and even when the open sign was on, because I drove by there Saturday night, they were still closed up. And it was like secretive in there. I wonder if there's a passcode or something, like a speakeasy that you gotta know to get into it.
That's odd.
Yeah.
I mean, a new restaurant is going to live or die by how many crowds they can draw.
Now again, with ramen and people losing their minds over ramen around here too, I understand the building demand by limiting it. And the prices weren't ridiculously high, except for market price, because who knows what that is. I just don't like variation. Or, today we might charge you this, and tomorrow we might charge you that, but tomorrow may never come. Well, tomorrow never does come. Every day is.
I might charge you extra.
Yeah. Tell me how much something is. Jeez. Or put it up on a board that says today's market price is this. Now, I know Tim Walker, and I think he's a great dude. His wife's a great person. I just don't know what I was about to say, dude, but that's why I paused. It wasn't anything bad.
Yeah.
But why not just tell us and let us help you promote it?
Yeah, a lot of that doesn't make sense. I mean, you've got what appears to be a successful business, a successful restaurant that's being run right there.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes a ramen place? We go from burgers to ramen?
They still have some of the burgers on the small batch side, which I have always said that I actually enjoyed the burgers better when it was just small batch and not burger batch.
Yeah.
So I wonder what I should do about their entry on the top 10 list then.
Ooh. Ooh, does that mean that the top 10 list has the potential to change over time?
Well, if the
or
place
was that
is
for a moment in time and it was set in stone?
Well, I mean, but the place is not there. I don't know. I have to think about that. Like I said last week, that's pretty much set in stone, or whenever I had to do my rebuttal. But
Yeah.
But if the place is not there, then I need to do something.
Something else could rise into that position.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll discuss that. On this past Thursday, Carrabba's did their Mission to Serve luncheon, and it was a success. Daniel contacted me Friday and said that they made their $5,000 goal.
That's wonderful.
So good job to the community for supporting such a fantastic cause, and congratulations to Daniel for a great event. I went, and it was delicious. I got to meet I think it was the senior vice president, regional vice president, something. She was really nice. We talked for 5 minutes or so. She's from Tampa. She was here for the event. And I don't remember Mike, someone, I think. It was the guy behind the counter who was helping cook and set the food out. But they both thanked me for what I do to help their restaurant and to help Daniel. So it was a big deal. I liked meeting
That's
him.
cool.
Street Team Steven couldn't go because he was in Tel Aviv, but he did send a donation through me, and I made that donation as well as my own on Thursday, and it was a great time. The first responders were actually serving. They were bringing the food out because it was the same thing, so it wasn't like they had to keep up with anybody, but it was just cool to see that. And I went by to all the ones who were there and thanked them for their service.
That's really cool.
Side note of this, when I was at Carrabba's, I heard Tim, and I turned around. It was our friend Stallone
Cool.
who designed the logo for the Man Who Went to Town.
Yes.
And he said, I walked over to say hey to him. He was eating with RJ, his son, and his mother, who his mother asked me, did your kids go to Ashley? Which they did not. I said, no, they went to Diggs and Diggs. He went to Diggs and Diggs Latham. She goes, were you the PTA president for a while? I said, yeah, 5 years. And she goes, I knew that name. So she works for the school system, and I've known Stallone's mom longer than I've known Stallone, but didn't know that until Thursday.
Yeah. She's a really special lady. I have to have a lot of respect for her.
Yeah. Oh, especially what she's having to deal with the school system. Yeah.
Well, she had an event for some kids that were at risk over the summer.
Yeah.
And Stallone had asked if Ray Mitchell and I could go over and talk to them. So we did. And she was the one running the program, so we had a chance to meet her then and talk to her.
Yeah.
Really a special lady.
Awesome. Well, after I left Carrabba's, I stopped by the Organics Juice Bar, since that was on my way home. And I
Yeah.
talked to Becky Zollicoffer at Let It Grow Produce. She had this big smile on her face and this glow about her. It was more like Let It Glow. But she said that things are going swimmingly over there. She's already planning some community events, and she will keep us up on those events. And if you looked at my Instagram, I believe it was on Friday, I did, or maybe even Saturday, I think it was Friday, I posted some pictures of the produce that she had over there.
Very cool.
Becky is such an awesome lady, and George too. George is doing great things at Let It Grow and Veridu, and I think it's fantastic that he had space for her to set this up. That's just awesome.
I love local supporting local.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that was. There was community there, and there's a community in that whole corridor of stuff. From the coffee shop even to the bar. Next to that, there's a new hemp store. Across the street is the barber shop and Stella Brew. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff, and it's all homegrown stuff. It's all local people doing local things with local folk, and that's for local folk, and that's really good stuff. So Ray, have you heard about Swipe By?
I believe that a professional blogger that I know had something posted this past week about Swipe By.
This is true. It is a fantastic homegrown app that turns participating local restaurants into drive-through restaurants. Download the app, order your food and beverage, drive by, and they bring the food to your car. You don't have to get out. Instant drive-through, right?
Nice.
It was created by a couple of Wake Forest graduates, and I met one of them on Thursday or Friday after our meeting at TBD. And I went to Moji because Moji Coffee is a coffee shop that employs individuals with different abilities, not to be confused with Cam's Coffee, who does the same thing that we've had on here before.
Right.
But Moji is also a nonprofit that relies on public support to keep its programs running. For the next 3 months, Swipe By is offering $1 off your order if you use a code, and in turn, it will donate $1 to Moji to help enable them to keep on with their mission. If you download Swipe By today and start swiping by to help this worthy cause, The code to insert, and you can find this on my Instagram page, and I will have it on the show notes for this podcast. The code is A8A25. And the lovely Natalie Hughes, who is one of the managers over at Moji, will be on the show next week to talk about this awesome partnership and a little bit more about Moji. I covered a little bit of it whenever they first opened, but nothing that I could say or write is going to sound as good as her talking about it. So we're going to have her on next Monday.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, she is. She's a wonderful person. She's from Michigan. She's in her mid-20s. She's a mom. She loves what she does, and we will learn more about her and learn more about Moji at the same time.
It's always best to hear it directly from the person who's living their passion.
Oh yeah. I'm a writer, and I can make it sound nice, but I'm not on the inside. So
exactly.
I no matter, it's like as much as I talk about Carrabba's, I don't do it justice when Daniel Butner's around. So.
Exactly.
So next week it's a lot of Moji coffee for us. Hopefully they'll bring something for me since you're not going to be here.
Fine. Well, just rub it in that I'm up on the mountain and you're down in the valley, and so you get the free samples.
Yeah, free samples for those involved, or at least here.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I hope she does bring something, but I'm just poking fun with you. All right, it's time for Getting in Your Business. So please welcome Kevin Heath from KevMart Catering, and now Uncle Chris's Pimento Cheese. Yay!
Hey.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
So tell us about, because this is not a new venture for you, but it's a new full venture for you, right?
That is correct.
All right, come a little bit closer to the microphone.
We started Uncle Chris's, back in 2013. It actually came about because Chris had talked to me in 2011 about using my commercial kitchen to make his pimento cheese. And we called the Department of Ag in. They came in and inspected, told us what we needed to do. And then Chris dropped the plan. Didn't do anything with the pimento cheese at that point. Fast forward to January of 2013, Ben DeVar was getting ready to open up a food truck called Camel City Grill Food Truck.
Oh yeah.
And
greatest peanut butter, jelly, and bacon sandwich, burger I've ever had.
Indeed. So Ben was a great guy, but he had no experience in the food business. So I did some consulting with him, and during one of our talks, he said, "Hey, I need to find someone that makes really good pimento cheese." And I said, "Well, you need to talk to my friend Chris, and you need to talk to another friend of mine, John. They both make pimento cheese." So Chris made some pimento cheese for them. They liked it. It was cheesy and chunky and creamy, but it wasn't hot. So he added some heat. And they liked it, but it wasn't hot enough. So he added some more heat. And they really liked it, but it wasn't quite hot enough. So he added a little more heat. And then they loved it.
Okay.
So that food truck got on the road in April of 2013.
Yeah.
Some food bloggers started writing about it. People started showing up at the food truck trying to buy the pimento cheese. So Chris was in Lowe's Food one day in Clemens. That Clemens store was the first of their remodel stores.
They're Disney World stores.
Disney World stores, that's right. They actually brought in a consultant from Disney.
Yep.
And so he was in there and he was talking to the store manager. And he was looking at the pimento cheeses and questioning her about a couple different. Her question to him was, "Why do you care?" And he said, "Well, I make pimento cheese for a food truck." So she said, "Well, make me some and bring it." So he took it into her. The next day she called and said, "How would you like to be in my store?" And a couple meetings with Lowe's corporate later, we were granted the ability to go into Lowe's. So September 5th of 2013, we got into Lowe's in Clemens, was our first store. Between there and Christmas of that year, we added, I think it was 32 more stores through the end of through the end of 2013, and we were what we call DSD, which is direct store delivery, where we would deliver the product, put it on the shelves and all that. And we did DSD through September of 2014. And October 1st of 2014, we went into distribution with MDI.
Which is what?
Merchants Distributors Incorporated, which is a mass distributor to Lowe's Foods and other independent grocers.
Okay.
So at that point, we increased our reach with Lowe's to about 75 stores, and then we've added other stores along the way. So I've been a partner in Uncle Chris's since basically day one, and in the last year, started trying to buy the business, and at the end of October, the 25th, I think it was, Chris and I came to a deal, and I now own Uncle Chris's Pimento Cheese, and we're going to see what we can do with it.
Awesome. Now, you said, I don't know, I can cut this out if you don't want it known, but you said you had some contingencies of other pimento cheese to maybe try out.
Yeah, let's not go there right
Okay, all right. No worries, I can take that out. So what is it about Chris's pimento cheese that stands out to you as someone who wanted to buy the rest of the company?
You know, the thing that sets us apart with a lot of pimento cheeses on the mass market is that we use real cheese. And you would think that wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it really is. A lot of the pimento cheese companies use what is called processed American cheese food. When I'm out sampling, and I was sampling yesterday at Sherwood Plaza Lowe's Foods, I tell people we use 100% real cheddar. We don't use processed American cheese food, which is neither cheese nor food.
Right.
When they have to tell you that it's food, it usually is not.
Right.
And the way
Fake food is not food.
Fake food is not food. And by law, when they use processed American cheese food, they can't just call it cheese. It has to be called cheese food. So we don't use any of that. That's the first thing. Secondly, we do use mayonnaise in our pimento cheese, but we don't use so much that it becomes overpowering or that it's sloppy, I guess. Mayonnaise is our second ingredient. If you look at the label on some pimento cheeses, mayonnaise is the first ingredient, followed usually by processed American cheese food. So that's, the fact that it's
and
a
a lot of
quality
things that you can't pronounce because they're chemicals or synthetic substances, and just like processed American cheese food is.
That's correct. And the thing that interests me in the company is that while pimento cheese has gotten to be a very crowded marketplace in the last 5 or 6 years, I still think there's a lot of growth for good products, regardless of what the product is. I think there's a lot of growth potential. I think we've simply scratched the surface, and I think with marketing and with good old American know-how and getting out and doing what I did yesterday, spend 2.5 hours in the Lowe's Foods talking to people face to face, giving them a sample, putting it on a cracker, handing it to them. I think there's still a lot of room for growth for this company.
Awesome. So, Ray, sorry you're not here to taste this, but
Me too.
let's tear into some and let's give it a shot.
All right. Well, what we're going to do, I'm going to start you off with Uncle Chris's Premium Pimento Cheese, which is, as I tell people, an honest-to-God, old-fashioned pimento cheese. It's made with 100% real cheddar cheese, mayonnaise, some spices, and pimentos.
Okay.
And I'll let you dig into that. You can see
Oh, it's thick.
it's
Yeah.
thick. You can see the shreds
Yeah,
of
it's creamy,
cheese.
and I like to put a lot on there.
That's fine.
I mean, if you're going to do it, get a big bite,
That's right. Get a big bite.
get a full taste.
It tastes like cheese. That's a good thing.
I was going to say, most pimento cheeses that I've had, I will not try again. So I'm looking forward to my opportunity because I will find a way to sample this.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, Ray, because when we're out sampling, occasionally we run across people that go, "Oh, I don't like pimento cheese," and my first question to them is, "Have you ever had good pimento cheese?" Because there are some really poor pimento cheeses out there. There are some also very good pimento cheeses. We have some really good competitors in the marketplace that do, like us, use real cheese, minimal amounts of mayonnaise, and then bring their products to market. So there are some good ones out there, but they're few and far between.
I like that
And
a lot.
I would expect yours to be good.
Well, thank you.
You
Yeah.
are the good food dude.
You are
I
the
am
good
the-
food dude, and I don't figure you would put your name or backing behind something that's mediocre or just well, it was there, and that's just not how we have grown to know Kevin Heath. He is not just well, I made it work. So, I mean, that's not how this goes, right? And and I would hope that the answer is that's not how it goes. That's
Yeah,
damn
you're not a
good
bare
cheese.
minimum kind of guy.
I try not to be.
And that's just the regular pimento cheese.
We don't call it regular.
That's the base.
This is the premium.
That's the premium.
Yeah.
When I'm out sampling, a lot of times I'll go through all the pimento cheeses and explain them, and then someone will say, "I'll take the regular," or "I'll take the plain," and I say, "I'm sorry, we don't sell regular pimento cheese. Regular pimento cheese is made with processed American cheese food," and that, of course, gives me another opportunity to say, which is neither cheese nor food.
Right.
All right, so
You enjoy
next-
saying that.
I do enjoy saying that. So next up is Uncle Chris's Premium Fire Roasted Jalapeno Pimento Cheese. We tell people we add the fire roasted jalapenos to add a little spice and a depth of flavor, but that it's not hot for most folks. So give that a whirl. It's an interesting story about this product. When we first brought this product to market, it was called Uncle Chris's Premium Chipotle Pimento Cheese. And there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace about what a chipotle pepper is. I would say most people think that a chipotle pepper is another type of pepper, like a jalapeno or a serrano or a habanero or whatever. And it's kind of that mystery pepper. But
It's just roasted.
it's a fire roasted jalapeno
Yeah.
is what it is. So early on, our chipotle pimento cheese sales lagged way behind the other two flavors, and we wondered why. And we figured it had to do with the mystery behind the chipotle.
Confusion.
So we changed the name from chipotle to fire roasted jalapeno. Didn't touch the recipe. Didn't change a thing about it. Just the words fire roasted jalapeno, and boom, sales went up. So
Because
There's a lot in a name.
there is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just people don't do their research on what something is. They think Chipotle. They think it's that Mexican restaurant, which is not technically a Mexican restaurant. It's
Right.
It's a Latin food style restaurant. But I mean, it's okay. I would rather.
Well,
have
it's
this
like
than that.
my favorite example of all time was the Chevy Nova when they tried to go to Mexico.
Oh yeah.
They didn't pay any attention to the fact that no va means no go in Spanish. So people would not buy a car that its very name says, yeah, it's not going anywhere.
It's
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
All right. So how was the fire roasted jalapeno?
I like that. That's a lot of flavor. It's a really, really good flavor.
All right. So next on is the smoking habanero pimento cheese.
So we're going up
Going up a little level.
whole notch there on the
Yeah,
hot.
we're going to do up a bottom notch.
What we do is we take the fire roasted jalapeno recipe, and we add some habanero powder to it.
It's a lot, I understand.
And we describe it as comfortably hot. We tell people it won't make your eyes sweat, doesn't turn your ears red. The habanero settles on the back of your throat and lets you know you're still alive. If you don't feel it back there, you need to call Ray, because Ray's going to have to do a service for you.
Have to, my last rites and all that. Oh, I feel it, yeah. Oh, yeah. Go give me some water here in a minute.
Now, the interesting thing, I told you earlier that Chris made pimento cheese for the burger truck, and they liked it,
Yeah.
and they wanted heat. And so that's when he added the chipotles. And then they wanted more heat, and he added habanero, and they still wanted more heat. So for the Camel City Grill, for the Camel City Grill food truck for Ben, we made a special recipe, which was double habanero. And we called it Burger Boy cheese internally when we made it.
Burger Boy cheese.
And we gave Ben the exclusive on that Burger Boy cheese. So it was kicked up quite a bit.
That's awesome.
So is that available now?
Only if you know someone. It's not available
Okay.
in the open market.
Do you know somebody?
I thought I knew somebody with the company. I'll have to check. Thought I might have an in somewhere.
You might.
Yeah, that's really, 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 really.
You like that?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
still think I like that one better, but that one certainly does have that notch.
Oh, really? You like the jalapeno? Okay.
I just like the flavor of that one. It's just, yeah,
Okay.
really, really good.
That's why we make 3, so that everybody can have a favorite.
So what is this and why is that here?
Okay. The fourth one I brought is It's a Gouda Day, and it's made by Lily Farm. Actually, it's marketed by Lily Farms. It's made by us. We've been co-packing this product for Lily Farms for, I guess, coming up on 5 years. So we make it for them, and when I go out and market my products, since I make that one, I also market it as well. And it is a blend of natural smoked Gouda, mild cheddar, pimentos, and bacon. And usually the bacon is what gets people.
yeah.
They just go bacon, bacon. They're like the dog on television for that commercial. Bacon, 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 bacon. All right, so try that one.
I like
That's-
the looks of it too, and I like the light color.
It's very smooth. It's very mild.
You've had some fun playing with recipes, haven't you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is it Gouda?
No, it's a Gouda day.
We were at the farmers market several years ago, sampling this product, and an African American lady came up and she tried this Gouda. She was a hefty lady, I
She
should
was
say.
rotund.
She was rotund, hefty lady, and a very pleasant lady. But she took a bite of that Gouda on a cracker, and she stepped back and she goes, "Oh Lord, that's like crack on a cracker."
I agree with her, actually. Never
That
had
good
crack,
stuff.
but this is good stuff. I love the smokiness of the Gouda. The bacon, you can definitely tell. It's good and creamy, yet firm. It's not like running all over the place. Yeah.
Y'all don't see the smile on his face as he's describing this.
I don't know if it's a smile as much as I'm just like in a daze, because it's like this is crack on a cracker.
That's like a whole body smile going on right
Oh
there.
yeah,
Whole body smile.
Oh, I am glowing for sure. Yeah, I really, every one of those. I would throw them on white bread right now. I throw them on a burger. I like them on burgers.
Yeah, we've over the years we've been working on a number of recipes, and I intend to redouble that effort and I'm going to try to have probably a recipe every couple weeks out on our on our Facebook page, because the simple truth is, for me to sell the amount of pimento cheese that we need to sell, I need people using it other than just to make a pimento cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
I need it on burgers. I need it in scrambled eggs. I need it in omelets. We've got a recipe.
It needs to become an ingredient.
An ingredient, that's right. We've got a recipe that we've developed that's really simple. You take one egg, whisk up the egg, take 1 tub of any one of the pimento cheeses, mix it in with the egg, stir it around, pour it into a small, well-greased casserole dish, bake it at 350 for about 15 or 20 minutes. The key is it'll blow up like a souffle. When it turns golden brown, you pull it out of the oven. If that's 10 minutes in, if that's 20 minutes in, whatever. The key is the golden brown part. Pull it out, serve it warm with chips and crackers. And it's just simple, it's easy, it scales up. You can do 2 tubs with 2 eggs, you can do 3 tubs with 3 eggs. If you're feeding a larger crowd, so it's really easy, and we encourage people to try it.
Some nice sagey sausage would go well with that too, I think.
Yep.
Put them in, have some sausage links or patties, and you crumble them
Denise's
up.
extra
put 'em-
sage.
Yeah, then crumble them up, put them in an omelet, and then put this on top of it or in it, and let it become its thing.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Now there's a Nice's sausage cheese dip recipe that's made with Nice's, Rotel tomatoes, and cream cheese, and I do it with either the fire roasted jalapeno or the smoking habanero, and just substitute the pimento cheese for the cream cheese.
Yeah.
And it's
That would be tasty.
yes.
So is there any cream cheese in the?
There's no cream cheese in ours.
Okay.
The Palmetto brand, which is the big elephant in the room, the 5,000-pound gorilla, they use cream cheese in theirs, and I, quite frankly, I tell people they cut it with cream cheese, because I don't consider cream cheese to be cheese.
Right. When my mom makes hers, she makes it with she gets the big American, and then some cheddar, and then a little bit of Gouda, and she proportions those out, and then I'm about to sneeze, and then
Watch out.
and then
Now I'm happy to be here.
I got napkins. We're okay. I got napkins here. And then she takes a little bit of cream cheese and she uses Miracle Whip instead of mayonnaise.
Okay.
And I've always liked hers. And I made some not long ago. And I instead of cream cheese, I use Neufchâtel, which is cream cheese.
Right.
It's a lighter French style cream cheese. So I used that, but it was really good. But it was a little more loose than I wanted.
Okay.
But I could use that and do a whole lot of things with it. And I'm going to have to now. Now that I've started, now I got to.
I'm picturing some dips that my family makes. That it's multi-layered dips that have the layer of cream cheese and then shredded chicken and beans and all that. And I'm thinking, ooh, ditch that cream cheese, put this in its place. Ooh, what would that be like?
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Man. So where all is this available right now?
At this point, our primary retailer is Lowe's Foods.
Okay.
We're also in a number of small country stores. We're in the Advanced Country Store, the Clemens Country Store. There's a country store down in Pleasant Garden that we're in. Also, Michael's English Muffins over in Raleigh sells and uses our products. And then Al's Burger Shack in Chapel Hill, he's got 3 locations there. They use the smoking habanero on their burgers and hot dogs and some other items. And the Kenny J Burger is their #1 selling burger, and it features the smoking habanero pimento cheese.
I remember you telling me about that one Friday. For full disclosure here, Kevin is part of Ray and my networking group on Friday morning, the TBD referral group. But yeah, I remember you telling me about when I was doing my Summer of Burgers tour. Yeah. There are some of those burgers that I would really like to see this the pimento cheese.
Oh,
on
yeah.
it. Yeah. I could think of 2 or 3 of them that I would really, really like to see that on there.
Might be time for him to jump in the car and y'all go pay some visits.
Yeah, let's go talk to some folks.
Absolutely. I'm ready to talk.
So where do you see this going? Where do you want to take it?
You know, where I would like to take it is pick up at least a couple more grocery stores. Harris Teeter, Ingles, possibly Food Lion. Wegmans is coming into the state. They just opened their first store in the Cary area 2 weeks ago, I think. Possibly Publix.
Well, I was talking with Frank, who is the wine guy over there. He's the wine specialist, and they were talking about always looking for local stuff to put in the store. And I know that Harris Teeter has a local section, and of course Lowe's does because they are local. So let me see if I can get you a name or a number for Publix to get in for their local stuff, because
Awesome.
I think that would work well there.
Absolutely would.
Yeah, this kind of a product, I mean, their footprint would be ideal.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny. I talked to someone this morning from Chicago, and I said something about pimento cheese, and his first comment was, "What did you say?" And I explained to him what pimento cheese was, and he's like, "Man, that sounds really good." And you know, we've always thought of it as a Southern thing, and it is a Southern thing. But Red Clay, which is here in town, and they're one of those good pimento cheese competitors that I spoke of a few minutes ago. They've proven that it can go nationwide, because a year and a half ago they were in 42 states, and
Wow.
that takes them outside of the South. So you know, there is a market. 40 years ago, there may not have been a market outside of the South, but there's so much transition now with people moving and you know, and with the information that's available on the
internet
internet
out there, yeah.
You know, so
I'm from West Virginia originally, so I'm not a technical Southern guy. However, we had this, but we never called it pimento cheese. We called it cheese salad.
okay,
Like ham salad, turkey salad, chicken salad, tuna salad. It was cheese salad, because really it was made with mayo and cheese and putting some stuff in there, relish or whatever it is. And so when we came down here and people would say something about pimento cheese, I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, cheese salad. Now I don't call it that anymore. I think that's dumb. But yeah, so it is, you know, West Virginia can be considered Southern, even though we're not. That's why we're a state. But at the same time, we fluctuate between the North and the South traditions. I mean, in the same neighborhood, we would have for New Year's, some people would be eating the black-eyed peas and collards, and others would be eating the corned beef hash or whatever they eat for the northern part. I didn't like either one of them at the time, so I didn't partake in any of it. So I don't really remember what my family did. There was something about hiding a dime in something, and if you found it, it was a real silver dime, not the ones with later it were all just nickel. And I'm like, I was 9. I don't know. But the thing is, I think you're right. The world is ready for some pimento cheese, and you know, I think it would go well in France. I think because French love their cheese too, but they're always doing stuff with cheese. I think that you know, especially with the smoked Gouda, you might throw them off a little bit with the habaneros and the jalapenos, but I think that would be a good French thing. Let's take it global, Kevin.
There you
Let's
go.
go
Let's
global.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You'll need some brand ambassadors in that case, and maybe then connections will be good too.
Would you come down the mountain for that, Ray?
I might come down the mountain for that one for sure. But let me go to France and help introduce it there. Just send me over there for a month.
La salade de fromage.
Just say ooey, ooey.
All I need from you is a oui.
And the pin stroke on the contract right there. Thank you.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk a minute about Kevin Mark Catering?
Sure.
Yeah, bring that up because this is your time. So promote.
All right. Well, we will promote. Well, Kev Mark Catering is a local, obviously, full service catering business, and we do anything that our clients want us to do: breakfast, lunch, dinner. I tell people,
second lunch.
Second lunch. That's right. Early dinner.
Yeah.
Late breakfast. Whatever. We do
Second dinner.
Second dinner sometimes. That's right. We do. I tell people we do everything from tailgate parties to a wedding. We do a lot of corporate work, corporate dinners, and we're doing a breakfast tomorrow for a B&I group out in Clemens. We'll have a chicken stew tomorrow night for a corporate group. It really ranges all over the board of what we do, and I really like it that way because it's always interesting. It's not the same menu over and over, because we don't operate a restaurant day to day. We're free to have any menu that we want for our guests, so we truly do something different every event, as opposed to the same old barbecue or the same old this or the same old that. We do barbecue, we do steaks, we do chicken dishes, we do basically whatever our clients say. I encourage them to start with a clean sheet of paper as far as their ideas go. And a lot of the things on the lists that I provide guests to help them start that process are things that have come on the list because a client 2 years or 5 years or 10 years ago said, oh, by the way, can you do Texas barbecue with beef brisket? Sure, we can do Texas barbecue with beef brisket. Yeah. At that time, I had never.
How do we do Texas barbecue with beef?
I had never cooked beef brisket other than corned beef that you buy in the store.
Yeah.
So Google was my friend. I Googled it. I'm one of these guys that I don't like to cook by recipe, but I went out to found several videos and different recipes for the dry rubs and whatnot, and then came up with my own, adapting something from 3 or 4 different recipes, and watched some videos on how different people did it. And sure enough, we cooked some beef brisket. And it was for a group of Texans from Dallas, and they said they could take it home and serve it to their friends. So I thought that was pretty good accolades.
So
that is good.
When you're building a menu for a client, is there anything particular you're like, yes, when you see it come in, or is there anything particular you're like, geez, oh Pete, I gotta make that again when they come through? And I'm not saying that it would deter you from doing it because you want what the customer wants. Sure. But we all have the things that we enjoy and the things we don't. So
I don't like working with prosciutto.
Okay.
I love prosciutto. I love eating it, but to work with it in terms of wrapping it around asparagus or cantaloupe pieces or whatever, it's just a real pain because it's so thin and it's so fragile. It's just a pain to work with. So prosciutto would be the probably the top of the list of the things that I really don't like to work with. Favorite thing, my favorite thing in the world to cook or to serve is an 85-day aged ribeye cooked over live charcoal on the original grate from the original grill of the original Lone Star Steakhouse. Now, there's a lot of people in the world that cook steaks but there's no one else in the world that can say they have the original grate from the original grill of the original Lone Star Steakhouse, other than myself.
You can be seasoned like crazy there.
Seasoned like crazy. It has probably conservatively cooked, I don't know, 800,000 to 1 million steaks on it, something like that.
Yeah.
It's all some action.
How did you find that? How did it come to your being?
Well, I was the general manager of the original Lone Star Steakhouse here in Winston.
Okay.
That was the original in the whole company. And about a year and a half into our existence, we replaced our grills, and the new grills showed up. The old grills were functional. I called Charlotte and said, "Hey, what do you want me to do with these?" And they said, "Just call somebody and have them come pick them up and scrap them." And I said, "Okay." And I didn't know what I was going to do with that grate, but I knew I wasn't going to scrap it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Nice.
You called somebody.
I called somebody. I called my buddy Mark and said, "Hey, Mark, bring the truck over. I don't know what we're doing with these, but here we go."
Now, the listeners can't see this, but can you sit there in that seat and talk about steak and Longhorn or Lone Star and all that stuff, looking at Ray with with those horns behind his head?
It looks like those horns are coming out of his head.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's a man of God, they say.
He's Ray Morgan with God.
with God.
With God.
And apparently with horn.
With horns, that's right.
Do you like to cook at home? Or do you get enough of that at work?
I enjoy cooking at home when I have the time to cook at home. I don't enjoy the flustered, oh, it's 7:30, we haven't eaten, we got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the fun part. But like on a Saturday or Sunday when we have time, I do a lot of cooking at home, and I enjoy that part.
Okay. When do you actually have time for the mise en place and the getting everything where it needs? And yeah, I really like cooking, and I got my son into it. My wife hates cooking. She does, but she hates it, and I like it, but I don't always feel like doing it. And my son, before he got into the culinary arts program and career center and got a job at a local bistro, that would be our father-son time. We would just on Thursdays and Sundays especially, we would just find recipes and just make stuff. And now that he does it all the time, he doesn't want to come home and do it with Dad anymore. So I got spoiled. I here, son, make me some of this, and he's like, okay, and there it is, and it was delicious. And now I'm like, he walks in just droopy because he's worn out because he's been at school all day and then work all night, and he wants to go see his girlfriend. So I'm like, yeah, okay, but
Dad
I don't
wants to eat.
Yeah. I want to eat.
Feed me, Seymour.
But I miss that. But I'm with you. I love to cook. I just don't like cooking. Does that make sense? I love to do it, but I really have to be in the mood for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say. That's what I'm saying now, anyway.
How about
I
you,
like
Ray?
to do it.
I've always enjoyed cooking. It's a very creative outlet. There are nights I don't feel like it, but if you want to eat something, you need to be prepared to fix it. Whitney and I, because of her type 2 diabetes, have been paying more attention to what we're eating and trying to make sure that what we're eating is real food. And, don't just get something frozen or something in a can. Just go get some fresh stuff. It doesn't take that much more time to prepare it, but the quality of what you're eating is so much better for your body.
So true.
And there's a big push toward the fresh and the real. There's probably a generation or a generation and a half that don't know their way around the kitchen at all, and can't cook. In fact, the way I got into cooking is my mom was a home ec teacher, home ec major and home ec teacher. And my dad was one of 3 sons, and my grandmother did absolutely everything for her sons. And as a result, when my mom and dad got married, my dad didn't know how to boil water, literally. And my mom was determined that her children were not going to be that way. So literally from the time I could see above the stove, I've been cooking with mom. And one of my deepest regrets is that as a kid, I didn't spend more time with my grandmothers cooking.
Yeah.
Because, I can't go back and recapture that now. I had the opportunity, and there were Tonka trucks to play with and, bikes to ride and those things.
I'm with you. My my mom's mom didn't cook a whole lot. She did do some stuff, but my mom was one of 7 kids, so the kids especially the girls, there were 3 girls, so they were the ones who did all the cooking, basically. And then on my dad's side, my dad's mom did cook, and then it was all girls, because my dad was the second of 6, but he was the only boy. So he didn't have to do any of that. So he just let them do it. And he did own the service station with my grandfather at the age of 12, but he didn't do any of the domestic stuff because he was the only boy out of 6 kids, and the girls did all that. So I didn't get a chance to do it with I'm sorry, Ray. I didn't get a chance to do it with my grandparents, but I have talked a lot with at least my mom's 2 sisters. And my mom hates cooking too, but my one aunt really, really likes it. And she's only 12 years older than me, and the next one is only 8 years. So we were like brother and sister growing up. So I get some stuff from them as far as cooking goes, but now I just let Trey do it, because Trey he's really, really good at what he does. So I just let him do it when he wants to. I know if I over push it, then he'll get bored with it. So I have to let him just do it at his leisure.
Yeah, Mom had us in the kitchen when I was 8. I still remember the night she decided, all right, you're going to learn how to cook. We went in there and we learned how to cook burgers. And every so often she'd bring us in. It's like, all right, here's how to fix something else. So she wanted to make sure we knew our way around the kitchen, that we weren't going to grow up just being completely helpless. I do remember thinking that my grandmother was just this amazing cook, and all the stuff that she had was, such exotic recipes, and it was just amazing. When she passed, I inherited a lot of her recipes. Only to find out they were like the recipes that were on the bag or the package that the stuff came in. Like, come on, I thought this was your handed down recipe for generations. No, it's on the back of the Knorr vegetable soup package. Come on now.
But those weren't bad recipes, and a lot of people took those recipes and modified them to their own specifications.
I rarely let a recipe go through untouched.
Oh, yeah. That's what Trey and I would always do. We would actually look for recipes and say, okay, what can we add to this?
Right.
What can we change to this? Since this seems to be a focus on this show, how do you like your burgers?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. Okay. What do you like? What do you like on it? Do you like it stuffed? Do you like things around it? How do you like it?
I like stuff on it. I've had a few stuffed burgers, but I prefer toppings on the burger. One of our big sellers at Lone Star was what we called a Bubba burger, and it was barbecue sauce, shredded cheddar cheese, and 2 strips of bacon. Simple goodness, but man, it was good. I like that. At Al's Burger Shack, which is my favorite place to get a burger currently, they have what they call a Mookie burger, and the Mookie is marbled blue cheese, bacon jam, and there's something else on it, and it's one of those burgers when you pick it up, you have to eat the whole thing because
yeah.
you can't put it down, and you end up with stuff down your arms and up to your elbows. But it's all worth the trouble, and it's just great. And Al knows one of the things that I'm going to enjoy about being back in the throes of the pimento cheese business is delivering to Al's every 2 weeks, and my chance to get a Mookie burger, because I had a Mookie burger last Tuesday when I delivered, and it was the first one I'd had in like 5 months. And now I see a Mookie in my future every 2 weeks.
Mookie.
I like it.
How do you like your burgers, Rick?
Medium rare as well. I used to be, I would say, I just like a lot of cheese on there, bacon, some tomato. But then I had Food Freaks and had the stuffed burgers for the first time, and was so impressed with what they did. That, to me, that's become my new favorite burger.
So for mine, what Trey and I do, we call it the Beeman burger. We take, it's a 1/3 pound burger or beef, and I have one of those stuffer things, and so I pound it down and then make the well. We pre-cook 3 strips of bacon, cut up some Gouda and whatever else we have in the fridge, and we dice it up really, really thin, and then put it in there, maybe a jalapeno just for the crunch, and then put the cap on it, press it down, get that way. And then we do it in a grill, because I don't have a grill. So we have a grill pan and put it on that. Let it do its thing for a little bit of butter in there. And then on the second turn, then we put a pat of butter on top of it. And then we'll go back over and put American cheese on top of that. And then I make my own Russian dressing. And then a little bit, I don't like lettuce so much, so I take tomato and onion and pickles and that Russian dressing. It always a base of the Russian dressing. The onion, the tomato, and then the onion, because it can hold more of the dressing in the little pocket, and then the couple of pieces of slices of Nikki's pickles is what I like to use. And yeah, to me that's just perfection. I like it medium rare as well. It's a lot of butter and a lot of cheese, but I dig it. That's what a burger is to me. Butter and cheese.
Good excuse for both.
Well, Kevin, if people want to find out more about Kev Mark Catering, how do they find you?
We've got a Facebook page, Kev Mark Catering Services. Love for them to go out and look at that. We post pictures from events there. And then also they can email me, kevmarkcatering@bellsouth.net. And so just reach out. We'd love to talk to them about any event they have.
And look for Uncle Chris's pimento cheese.
Absolutely.
And if your store doesn't carry them, tell your store that they need to get in touch with him.
Absolutely.
With Kevin Heath for the Uncle Chris's pimento cheese. Kevin, thank you so much for being here, buddy, and thanks for letting me try these things. Do I get to take these home?
You do get to take
yes.
Tim's a happy man.
Because I was sitting there thinking, what am I going to eat this evening? Okay, I'm going to have some pimento cheese and stuff.
I mean, you were talking about the Gouda in the burgers that you like to prepare.
Yeah.
I think you've got a replacement ingredient.
Well, I mean, we already have the bacon in there. We have the Gouda. Just put that in there as the stuffing. You don't have to go too much.
Would be really good.
You don't have to go too much on it. It would actually flavor it really well, just a little bit. Even as much as I put on that cracker was probably too much for a stuffed burger. And but it would flavor it right up. Heck,
and Kevin's going, nope. You could put 3 times that
That's
amount.
right. 3 times.
So you go and buy some more.
That's right.
Get
That's
a big 5-gallon tub of it.
Baby needs new
Picture it
shoes.
as a pimento sandwich where you kind of just put a little bit of the crumbles of the hamburger on it.
Yeah, well, I can do
Use
that
up
too.
a lot.
I can do that too. Thank you
be
so
really
much,
good.
Kevin, for being here.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Well, once again, thank you to Kevin Heath from Kevin Mark Catering and Uncle Chris's Pimento Cheese.
Yes.
Stuff is delicious, and you'll have some Friday. You'll be able to know the gloriousness that this is, just like me. And everyone else should go to their Lowe's Foods and or any grocery store and tell them if they don't have this that they need to have it. You've got to try
Actually,
this. It's really good.
It's not going to be Friday. I'm going to have to go to Lowe's and get some. I got to try this before then. It just looks so good. It sounds so good. I'm going to have to go try it.
Oh, it's weird. Now it's time for some food holidays. And today, being the 11th, is National Sundae Day. That's Sundae.
I'm down with that kind of Sunday.
Oh, I know, because you, like me, are a fan of ice cream.
And chocolate.
And chocolate.
And it's not a sundae without chocolate on it.
Well, it is a sundae without chocolate. Sometimes you just want some strawberry syrup, or sometimes you might want pineapple syrup, or sometimes you might want butterscotch. I'm a huge.
See, that's why the sundae should have at least 3 mounds, so you've got multiple, opportunities to try different flavors.
Or just
because I'm with you. I love strawberry. I love butterscotch.
Yeah.
Pineapple. All that's good.
Why don't we just make a shit sundae and just put all the shit on it?
Can we come up with a better name? I
Yeah,
mean, the marketing on that might not fly.
yeah, junk sundae. All the junk goes on it. This is junk sundae.
Yeah.
Amalgamation sundae.
Let's picture our friends over at Cafe Baradoo doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at Zesto, you go in and have a shit concrete.
Yeah.
Concrete.
I'm betting Algernon would not go for that.
No, he might make it, and he would
he'd
probably
make
call
it.
it that, but he wouldn't put it on the menu as such.
He's like, if that's what you want, I'll make it for you, but we're going to call it something else. He might call it the kitchen sink.
Yeah, okay, that'd be okay. Yeah, let's do that.
There you go.
And on the 11th in 1790, chrysanthemums were introduced to England from China. Both the greens and the blossoms of chrysanthemums are edible and are particularly popular in Japan, China, and Vietnam. It is the birth month flower for November, so it's my birth flower.
I didn't know they were edible.
I didn't either, but I like edible flowers, so I would like to see what this... some those edible orchids and stuff are really, really good too.
I could just see you now walking through, store and they've got the mums out and you'd be like, oh, let me have a sample of these. Oh, I like the red ones.
I like the ones that's really bubbly, or not bubbly, but bulby. Let's go with that. On the 11th in 2006, a Hong Kong real estate tycoon and his wife paid the equivalent of $160,000 for a 3.3 pound Italian Alba white truffle.
That seems like a lot of money for a truffle.
I guess if you have that kind of money just to throw around, but still, even if I had that kind of money, I do not see me paying more than maybe $100 for. I mean, I know truffles are truly rare. It's like saffron being rare. I'm not paying that much for it. I don't care how much money I had.
No.
That's how people go broke. That's how rich people
people go
squander
stupid.
it. Yeah, they get stupid. The 12th of November is National Pizza. This is one that started last year. Started us talking about how ridiculously these holidays are. So tomorrow, the 12th, is National Pizza with the Worst Except Anchovies Day.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
We can have a junk pizza, but Lord, do not put those little fishes on it.
No, thank you. Don't need that.
I actually don't mind anchovies. It's not my favorite thing, but I don't mind them. I would just assume them be, not on the pizza. But if they are, then it's a little more saltiness. That's really all it is.
No, thank you. I'm good with no anchovies.
Do you like Caesar
Ever.
dressing?
Do I like seafood dressing?
Caesar dressing.
Caesar dressing. Yeah.
Well, that's made with anchovies.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'll be having another kind of dressing.
So you gotta think: do you hate the anchovies or do you hate the thought of the anchovies? That's the question.
Now it's the thought.
Yeah, there you go. It's also National or just Chicken Soup for the Soul Day. And something we don't get any of in North Carolina, Happy Hour Day. Because we're not allowed to have happy hour here in
Yeah,
the Bible
we're
Belt.
not allowed to have them.
Yeah, it
And
might
the
promote-
infinite unwisdom of the leadership of our state.
On the 12th in 1901, National Biscuit Company registered Nabisco trademark for biscuits, crackers, and bread.
It's a big deal.
It is. And another one that we probably know a lot about, 1924, Washburn Crosby Company, which was a predecessor to General Mills, introduced Wheaties breakfast cereal.
Wheaties!
It was originally called Washburn's Gold Medal Whole Wheat Flakes. And now
Yeah,
it's Wheaties.
again, from a marketing perspective, Wheaties sounds so much better.
Yeah, and it sounds, I don't know, it sounds powerful. I guess because there's always
does.
athletes and stuff on it. In 1954, on the 12th, Ellis Island in New York Harbor closed after processing more than 12 million immigrants since its opening in 1892. And had it not, I'm sure our current president would have closed it down because
Oh, yeah.
it built a wall.
In Colorado.
Yeah. Keep those Coloradans out.
Yeah. We can't let those New Mexicans cross this border.
In 1956, the U.S. Navy icebreaker USS Glacier sighted the largest iceberg ever recorded at 208 miles long and 60 miles wide. It was about the size of Belgium. The iceberg had broken from the Ross Ice Shelf in the Antarctic.
Wow, the size of Belgium.
Yeah, I've been to
That tells
Belgium.
you something. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I've been to Belgium. It's pretty big. 1974, after more than 125 years, salmon returned to the River Thames in England, which kind of grosses me out because it's any river that's in the middle of a city. I don't want to eat or drink anything out of that.
No, not the Thames.
No.
Salmon chanted evening.
You may see a stranger.
Or is it salmon tainted evening?
Yeah. I guess we can go back now that it's dirty again. Let's go back. The 13th of November, National Indian Pudding Day. Now, Indian
I was going to
pudding
say
is
yay, but
Indian pudding is a baked custard with milk, butter, molasses, eggs, spices, and cornmeal. The name is likely derived from the cornmeal, which was at the time known as Indian meal, way back when. So it sounds good. I like baked custard with milk, butter, molasses, eggs, spices, and cornmeal. I'd be okay with that.
I think it might even be tasty.
Well, it says molasses and spices and butter.
Yeah.
As we talked about with Kevin just a few
Yeah.
minutes ago. I like butter.
Yes,
Butter is one of my
lots of
favorite.
butter.
It's like its own food group with me.
Butter makes it better.
Butter make it better. It's better butter. In 1805, on the 13th, supposedly, Johann George Lerner, a German butcher from Frankfurt living in Vienna, Austria, created a beef and pork sausage, calling it a Frankfurter. And that's only in Austria that it's called there. Everywhere else it's called a wiener or a Wiener Frankfurter. And Wienerwurst, here in America, we are just lazy and it's just a hot dog.
Or is that also Vienna sausage?
I don't think that. Well, I mean, it's probably the same concept. Or
be
as they
curious,
called it,
what's the
as
difference?
they called it in West Virginia, Vienna weenies.
Yeah, Vienna.
Vine. It's a thin, parboiled sausage traditionally made of pork and beef in a casing of sheep's intestine, then given a low temperature smoking. The word wiener is German for Viennese. In Austria, the term Wiener is uncommon for this food item, which instead is called Frankfurter Wurst. So Vienna sausage, I guess, could be a Frankfurter. Or if you're a fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, it's Frankenfurter.
Yes.
How you
Or-
do?
Or if you enjoy Mel Brooks features, then it's Frankenstein.
Yes, I love some Mel Brooks features.
That's Frankenstein.
I thought it was Frankenstein, but I thought you thought wrong then, didn't you?
Yes.
It's
Herr
Igor.
Brooker.
It's Igor. Frau Blücher. In 1895, the first shipment of canned pineapple left Hawaii. They can put them on their Sundays. In 1927, on the 13th, the Holland Tunnel opened, the first Hudson River automobile tunnel from New York City to New Jersey. 3 years later, just the name of this makes me laugh. The Rotolactor was developed by the Walker Gordon Dairy. It was a 50-stall revolving milking platform that could mechanically milk over 1,500 cows in 7 hours. And that was in 1930. That's a lot, yeah.
That's a lot of cows.
The Rotolactor. That's just
Yeah.
so funny. In 1933, one of the first sit-down strikes began. It took place at the Hormel packing plant in Austin, Minnesota. That's where what Spam is made. Is that where that's at?
Spam. The only thing about Spam I like is the Monty Python Spam-A-Lot.
That was good. I saw it. Have you ever seen it live?
Not yet, no.
That's good stuff. I have the soundtrack for it. Yeah, it's made in. Spam is made in Minnesota at Hormel Foods
Processed
Corporation.
meat food.
Yeah. Well, actually, it is truly it's pork. It's spicy pork. That's what Spam stands, or spicy ham. That's what Spam stands for. So it is. The basic ingredients are pork with ham meat added, salt, water, modified potato starch as a binder, sugar, and sodium nitrate as a preservative, which is like salt, but not quite. Natural gelatin is formed during cooking in its tins on the production line. So that gelatin gunk stuff that always reminded me of that movie Cat People. That's actually natural and not added. So it's formed from the fat of the pork.
That they cook in the tins that they then seal.
Yeah. I think the funny thing is Spam really, I mean, any ham is generally high in sodium and not good for you. But it's really not worse than any other. It just has that weird taste
Yeah.
to me. It doesn't come, then I'm from West Virginia and we had that cheapo stuff called Treat.
Oh, yeah, that really was. I mean, you'd think Spam is about as far down the food scale as you go, but then you get Treat.
Yeah. Treat.
And Cheese Whiz right down there.
Yeah, it's made by Armour as a spiced luncheon loaf. Treat is.
I'm thinking I'd like to have some spiced luncheon loaf. That's exactly what crosses my mind on a daily basis. I want luncheon loaf.
So a serving of Treat contains more than a third of the recommended daily intake of sodium.
That's just a third, so you could eat it 3 times a day, and you'll hit your full dose.
A
of sodium.
56-gram serving of Treat contains 820 milligrams of sodium. My wife would flip the heck out if that.
Yes, she would.
If I even thought about having that. Yeah, no.
But you can mix it up with eggs, and that'll cut it, because then you're not going to have to put any salt on the eggs.
But so serving size of Spam is 100 grams, and in one serving size of Spam there is 1,369 milligrams of sodium. So that is over half your daily value.
That's
There
a
is
lot of salt.
there is a label here for less sodium. That's only 580 milligrams, which is still 24% of your daily value.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And as much as I like to eat things that are like that, I don't like to eat that. I'll eat other things that are good as opposed to that and get my daily intake. Yeah. Okay, so we got off on the weird weeds there. So
We
on the
went off on
14th, yeah, we've been spammed. For your wife to know this, on the 14th is World Diabetes Day.
There you go. It's a good, worthy day,
Yes, it's also National Spicy Guacamole Day.
which is generally good for people with diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, I do put a little bit of sugar in mine, but not enough to make any difference, really. It's just a little flavoring. National Pickle Day. I'm a fan. I love pickles. And
Sweet and sour or dill?
yes, bread and
Okay.
butter.
Yeah.
I like all that. Yeah, I
me
like
too.
pickles. Whatever. I know there's a lot of salt in that too, but I like.
I don't like cucumbers, but I like pickles. Go figure.
I like raw pickles. International Tempranillo Day. Now you're like, what the heck is that?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
It is a black grape variety native to Spain and used in the great Rioja and Ribera del Duero wines, and it is now the third most widely planted grape variety or wine grape variety in the world. So,
Wow.
so if you like wine, especially Spanish wine, then celebrate.
This is a big day for you.
Yes. Celebrate, what was that, Thursday is the 14th? Celebrate that day with a glass of wine. On the 14th in 1832, the John Mason, the first horse-drawn streetcar, was demonstrated to officials in New York City.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Here, I thought you were going to talk about mason jars, but no, you're talking about mason cars.
Yeah, yes, I see what you did there. In 1851, Herman Melville's novel Moby Dick was published, not to be confused with the Tom and Jerry Dickie Moe.
Not at all to be confused with that. Very separate and very separate.
Yes. Let's see. There's no reason to talk about that. In 1922, the BBC officially began daily radio broadcasting with the 6 p.m. news. On the 14th in 1960, OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, was formed. And I thought that would have been older than that, but it's not. It's, what is that, almost 60?
Yeah.
In 2011, Canada released the first of the country's newest banknotes, which was $100 bills made from a plastic polymer. It gives new meaning to paying with plastic.
Yeah.
On the 15th, it's America Recycles Day, which I don't do a whole lot of. I think that recycling in part is a conspiracy. And I'm not usually one to fall for conspiracy theories like that, but I think it takes more energy and resources to recycle than it does to make new product. And the landfills, while they are filling, they are not filling at the rate that, and being a lefty that I am, I still think that is still blown out of proportion about how much the environment is getting hit. Now, I'm not talking about global warming, that's a little bit different, but recycling, while there are good points to it, I think recycling as a whole needs a lot of work. That's just what I have to say about that. And it's National Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day. Make sure you put your recyclables away when you do that. Spicy Hermit Cookie Day.
You know, when it's National Clean Out My Refrigerator Day, I'm not recycling what I'm throwing away because at this point it's already become a science experiment.
That's right. That's right. My ex-wife especially, and I have said it to my current wife, But she would like cook stuff and then leave it out. Not the food, but like the water and stuff afterwards. And I would walk by, and I have this thing with old food. I can't deal with it. So I just have a phobia or a whatever you want to call it. I just can't handle it. And I would ask her, what are we entering this into the fair? What are we doing here? So she was like, what? I said, clean that up. So it was just stuff would be there, you know. I mean, I didn't know. I don't need penicillin. You know, I don't need any of this stuff.
I'm allergic to it, so
Penicillin?
yeah.
Yeah. You'd think I would be because I'm allergic to mold. But I'm not.
But you're not allergic to blue cheese,
I am allergic to blue cheese.
are you?
I am, but it's still my favorite cheese.
That's what I was thinking. That's like, your top there.
No, I still eat it. I just have to just watch. I mean, what does it do? It just makes me tingle a little in my throat. It's not like going to kill me, but I don't know. It's Spicy Hermit Cookie Day, and I looked up some of that, and I don't even remember what it was about. So, if you know what a Spicy Hermit Cookie is, just
Give us a call. We'll bring you on the show next week, and
yeah, or the week after, sometime. It's
we
National.
can do a segment about that.
Yes, and bring some. We would love to let Ray watch me eat another thing over Skype. It's National Raisin Bran Cereal Day on the 15th and National Bunt Day. BUNDT, like the bunt cake.
I'm good with a bundt cake. Now, when you make yourself a bowl of Raisin Bran, do you put sugar on it?
I don't eat Raisin Bran. And there's no reason why other than I just don't. I'm not a cereal person in general. I had a problem when I was a kid with Raisin Bran, sometime in 1977, early 78. And if we put two and two together, my sister was born in late 1977. So I had a problem that the raisins in Raisin Bran looked like her navel when the scab fell off. And I wouldn't eat it for a long time after that. I also wouldn't eat peanut butter for a while either, for other reasons. Also had to do with my sister being a baby and born. Yeah. So.
And the things they leave for you.
Yeah. It kind of resembled peanut butter.
Yeah, it does sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes it still does. But yeah, no, I can see Post Raisin Bran does not need extra sugar, but Kellogg's, I believe, does. Kellogg's needs a little bit of help on that.
I always put a little bit of sugar on there myself.
I do put sugar on if I'm having them, which is very rare. Both Cheerios and Corn Flakes.
Cornflakes, yes, because there's like no sugar in that.
Right.
Or at least none that I can see and crunch on.
It's true. And drink the sugar milk afterwards, right?
Yes, that's part of it.
Yes, it is.
It's a big part of the overall experience, not to be downplayed.
Not at all downplayed. Drink your sugar water or sugar milk. In 1660 on the 15th, Asser, his name is Asser, A-S-S-E-R, Levi from Portugal, applied for a license to sell kosher meat. He was the first kosher butcher in New Amsterdam, which we know now is New York. In Asser Levy from Portugal. In 1849, the first poultry show in the United States was held in Boston, Massachusetts. 1,423 birds were exhibited by 219 exhibitors.
My goodness.
Yeah, that went a foul.
What do you think? What do you think of my bird?
I think it's foul.
It is foul.
Yeah.
Of course, then there's going to be the guy walking around asking what you think about his rooster.
I'm not even going to say it. I was just, okay. In 1881, the Federation of Organized Trades and Labor Unions of the United States and Canada, That's a lot. That's a mouthful.
It is.
FOTLU is what they call themselves. Was organized again 1881 in Turner Hall in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Luckily, it changed its name just 5 years later to the American Federation of Labor, or the AFL. Whole lot easier.
See, now there's something we can get. At least we can understand.
Yeah.
Get behind that. Yeah.
FOTLU. I'm part of
Yeah.
FOTLU. In
Yeah,
1904.
you smile when you say that to me.
In 1904, King Camp Gillette, and that's his name, not King like royalty, but his name is King Camp Gillette, was issued a patent for his disposable razor. And that's where, today Gillette is the best a man can get.
Actually, I have had other things that truthfully I believe were far better than Gillette.
Schick.
Oh, I'm not talking about shaving. I'm just saying the best a man can get.
Okay, yeah.
You can do better than Gillette.
This is true. In 1969, the first color TV commercial in Britain was aired for Bird's Eye Peas.
Okay.
So when people were getting their vasectomies, they knew what the stuff really looked like.
And, bright, vibrant green, you might as well, utilize color television.
This is true. In 1969, also on the 15th, Dave Thomas opened the first Wendy's old-fashioned hamburger restaurant in downtown Columbus. He named it for his then 8-year-old daughter, whose name was...
Wendy?
Nope, it was Melinda. But her nickname was Wendy.
Okay. And what does her collar say?
Mom.
It does, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, a little subliminal advertising going on there.
On the 16th, it's National Fast Food Day. I don't care anything about that unless it's non-traditional fast food like our friends over at Zesto.
I was going to say, there is one version of fast food that you'll enjoy.
Yeah, indeed. In
And
16...
I don't mind my food being served quickly, even at a sit-down restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Being fast food is one thing, but it being fast food as a noun,
not really interested.
A noun, not an adjective. No, I don't want that. The first corn or maize was supposedly discovered by European settlers by some pilgrims led by Miles Standish while exploring the area near Provincetown, Massachusetts. They named the spot Corn Hill. And then just like anything else that happened, discovering something that already exists. That's why it was called maize from the native...
you call it maize.
the indigenous people there.
Yes. The real American.
The real Americans. 1796, on the 16th, English inventor Mark Isambard Brunel received a patent for ruling books and paper. I think that's like college rule, the lines.
Right.
In 1801.
Not the kind of paper that, lords it over you.
Yeah.
I am ruling you.
Rule.
I am paper. I rule. I am better than rock and scissors.
Never understood how that works out either. In 1801, Alexander Hamilton founded the New York Evening Post newspaper, the oldest continuously published daily newspaper in the United States. In 1920, Pitney Bowes introduced the first postage meter for metered mail in Stamford, Connecticut.
Interesting.
Yeah. So now the 17th for one, is one of my best friend's birthday. He doesn't like me mentioning that, so I won't say that the 17th is Eugene's birthday.
Yeah, we won't talk about Eugene's birthday.
We won't. So homemade bread day and National Baklava Day, especially if you go to our place, Yamas, for their baklava is really awesome.
Their baklava is really good.
It's good over at Zito too, so I'm gonna give them that.
And I love homemade bread.
Yeah.
My mom used to make sourdough, and we'd cut that in big, thick slices and slather on some real butter and toast that, and then put some honey on it. Oh.
When I was over at Bobby Boy Bakery, my friend John Bobby and his wife own that, and he was talking about the sourdough loaves that they make. He says, I like to cut big slices, put some real butter on there, like the Kerrygold or the President French butter, and a little bit of sea salt.
Ooh, yeah.
And then he said that was just, and then throw it in a convection oven or a rail oven or whatever, just a little bit long for that butter to melt in real good. Oh yeah,
That's some good stuff right there.
I look at it and go, how you doing? In
Yeah.
1869, the Suez Canal opened to shipping, linking the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea. In 1968, NBC outraged football fans when it broke away from the final minutes of an Oakland Raiders New York Jets game to air the TV film Heidi.
Yeah, because football fans in particular love Heidi.
Yeah, Heidi is all the rage in 1968, from what I understand. There is now a rule that the NFL has with broadcasters that unless it's a national emergency, and even then it's suspect, you're not allowed to preempt the program. In 1973, President Richard Nixon told an Associated Press managing editors meeting, I am not a crook. But
He
a
was
crook.
lying through his teeth.
Yeah, I really am a crook. In 1988, Walmart opened its first supercenter at Wheeler, Oklahoma. It carried meat, produce, dairy products, and baked goods, in addition to other standard supermarket products and discount store merchandise. Generally, I don't talk about Walmart. I just figured since that was the first one of that kind, why not?
You know, I mean, it is significant in one sense.
Oh, it certainly is. That's your food holidays and history for this week. Special thanks to James Ziegler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, and discuss anchovies on pizza and what constitutes a sundae.
Yes. Even though I really can't eat Caesar dressing now.
Oh, you can. You like it just as much. You just don't think about it. Not all Caesar dressing is made with that. It's the creamier kind. If you like the more Italian style, that may or
Yeah.
may not. I don't know, but I know some of the creamier has anchovies.
Maybe stick with ranch.
Southern catch it. The Man Who Hates the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Apartment 5B, and Beeswax Final, and more. You can find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll also find social media links for each there as well. We would greatly appreciate if you visited our sponsors, like the fantastic fundraising monster that is Daniel Butner over at Carrabba's Italian Grill, located at 587 South Stratford Road. Let Daniel demonstrate what a responsible large-scale family of restaurants looks like. Carrabba's takes the community it serves very seriously, and you can tell. And having a fantastic franchisee like Daniel certainly does not suck. Follow Carrabba's on social media and on carrabbas.com. Washington Perk and Provision Company is located 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything over at the Perk. Local fruits and veggies, meat and dairy from local sources, Bingo Bango sodas made right here in Winston-Salem, Wolfie's custard, and more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk, or on Instagram, Washington Perk _DTWS.
I wonder if they shouldn't be picking up some pimento cheese distributorships from right here in town.
They should. That's a good suggestion.
We'll have to
I
talk
might-
to. Well, we'll have to see if we still have a connection with the company.
Yeah, we'll see if they want to talk to us ever again after this interview. The Humblebee shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. You need to go to Instagram right now and look up the Humblebee shop. Brittany is whipping up the batter on some delicious desserts, cakes, and muffins, be it regular, vegan, or gluten-free. The Humblebee shop wants to challenge your perception of Scratch Made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit thehumblebeeshop.co.
SHOPPE.co.
Keep an eye on my blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have food news, or if you're, opening a ramen place after shutting down another restaurant and want to get some promotion about that, send an email to Tim at themanwhoatethetown.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or the Twitter Insta Messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man Who Number 8 The Town. On Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. My name's Tim.
My name's Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the Man Who Ate the Town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.